Hi, everybody. My name is Allison, and I am with Remax Gold. I am a real estate agent, but my niche, if you will, is helping seniors downsize. And that is my passion. That is what I'm here. I am on a mission to get resources and information out to you far above and beyond the real estate market. That's not what we're here to talk about. Today, we're here to talk about downsizing. I'm going to be holding these seminars every month on the last Wednesday of every month at 1 o'clock, covering a host of different topics. Next month, we'll be going over wills versus trusts. What are the differences? Why do you need one? And what happens if you don't have a trust? After that, we're going to be going over reverse mortgages, how you can leverage them to age in place. And this is not just me talking at you. I have a host of different people that are here with me today that are my education partners that I've picked, that I've vetted, that I work with, that I know, like, and trust to help me bring you this information, because I can't be the expert in all things, but I can bring the experts to you. So I would like to introduce some people. I have Trang here today, who's going to be helping us with Downsizing Made Easy.
Hi, I will go through a little bit about myself later.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Billy Babcock with Cross Country Mortgage, and we're going to help you out in 2 months with the reverse mortgages.
Yes. And we also have Mark. We'll be back in a minute. I think he stepped out. Do you want to come and introduce yourself? And we have Marcus Jackson over here, who is a fantastic photographer. If you're ever looking for family portraits, he's the man.
Hi everyone, Mark Porter. I'm your local financial planner. If you recognize me from when I was skinnier and younger, 27 years ago I used to operate the Chevy's restaurant on Plaza Drive. And in the early 90s, my mom and I were in the real estate business in Sacramento, and I used to help people purchase foreclosure properties.
Yes. Yes. And then a couple other people who couldn't be here today. We have Jessica Ward with the law offices of Jessica Ward. She will be here talking to you next month on the wills versus trust and estate planning. And also not able to make it today. I actually think that's it. I think everybody else showed up. So I'll let you introduce yourself, and then we'll dig right in.
Excellent. Thank you, Allison. Next slide, right? About me. So Allison, she's gone through that. And that's me. Do I look pretty in that photos? It's AI. I love what AI can do. It still look like me. I have to tell them no V-line, no standard beauty features. So that's me now. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Trang Nguyen. I love the English name Mira, something I'm getting used to. I'm the owner and also Chief Caring Officer of Caring Transitions, and we are a franchise. I bought this franchise just over 12 months ago. We're serving Benicia, Vallejo, so the Solano County. And now this year, we also expanded into the Sacramento County as well, and have done some work in the East Bay area as well. My former life, I was a Big Four consultant with KPMG. I was with them for 10 years. Before that, I worked in the corporate world for another 10 years. I love traveling, so I'm Australian still. I'm in the process of applying to be an American. Wish me luck. Born in Vietnam and grew up in Australia, and I have traveled and moved around a lot myself. I love dogs. I have 3 boys that I moved all the way from Vietnam when I moved to the US. I love foods and I love travel. I visited about 26 countries and counting. So that's me. And today, can we go to the next slide? So I would like this process to be very interactive by starting off giving you a practical case study of we have helped some of our clients, and this is one of them, with a full process that last year. So this client talked about downsizing. there's actually more than just the process of cleaning out the house. We actually come in at the later part and we do the execution part of it. They say that it takes a village to care for a child. I would say it takes a community to care for seniors and their loved ones. And you can see from the first slide, Alison had put that community together. So this client contacted us in January. And at the time, both of them are thinking of downsizing. They did have a bit of pressure, I guess, from the family as well, from their children, because the father has Alzheimer, the sign of Alzheimer. They traveled the world. She was also a therapist. So the wife, or the mother, contacted us. We came in and she was like, no, I just want inquiry. One of our friends in Texas had worked with caring transitions, so we just want to get some information. I said, okay, follow up. And she said, I'm not ready to meet with you until February. February come, first consultation in person. And at that time, from that conversation, we get to see the house situation. But at the time, we kind of know that she's already have financial planning part already kind of sorted. The property is already in a trust. The children have been well informed. In fact, the children kind of urging the parents. The children actually don't live nearby. They live interstate and also a few hours away as well, driving. The house is relatively big. It's a family home. The children grew up there. They've been there for 25 years, 4-bedroom, and it's full. It has 2-story, 2,200, and they will move into, they found assisted living as well. So the mother is very active. She's kind of doing all the planning ahead. She go and check out all the senior living community, found a suitable one. And then after that meeting, she was like, okay, I've got all the information. She's very concerned about how do we take care of her stuff in the house, the content, because there's a lot. So she's like, okay, let me talk to my children, and then I'll contact you again. And then we wait. And interestingly enough, in late April, it wasn't her that contacted me. It was her children. One of the daughters actually contacted me and say, hey, we need help. And by the way, my mother doesn't like the mover that she's working with. Can you come in and help doing the moving? And I'm like, sure, we do that. So we came in, we packed, we moved them into an assisted living, we unpacked and we set everything up. And then she's like, okay, done. Come back again. And May, they contacted us. We go through the process one more time, answering all the questions they have about how to clear the house and how much it's going to cost, et cetera, et cetera. So the actual process. And again, it was the daughter who contacted me. So anyway, they go ahead, they decide to sign a contract, and we started in July. And we got the house, we did the auction, we did the sorting and the initial clean out because the house there's a lot. So with August, we do the auction, we do both for them as part of the effort to clear out the home is on-site estate sales as well as online auction on our CityBid platform. Feel free to ask me more questions later if you like. And then September is the final hauling, and then the house was up for light renovation, and then they listed the house for sale at about end of October. So just this slide is to give you a prime example of a full downsizing journey. It takes 10 months. And this is already prior, like in 2024, they're already talking about it. Among the family members, the parents actually didn't want to move. Very understandable. My dad would never leave our family home, period. He was like, when I can't take care of myself anymore, I will take myself to an assisted living or boarding care. My mom was also in boarding care. So for seniors, it does take time because there's so much going on. The house is the family and their life. So it takes this particular client 10 months. There's more things happening throughout the process too. I'm happy to answer any question down the line that you have as well, but this is a typical project for downsizing of this size. So I would say the first thing first, talk about downsizing rather than wait for, oh, I have this, or I had a fall, or the health is severely deteriorated, is have planning ahead of time. That's very, very important. The financial part in particular, because it doesn't matter, everything needs energy and it is money to move things. So planning ahead is very important. And next slide. Okay.
All right. So that was a lot. The whole entire journey all at once, from start to finish, everything that they went through. So now I want to kind of break down a little bit, step by step, on what that looks like for you. So the first step, creating a plan. What does that mean to create a plan? First, what do you want that next chapter to look like? Where do you want to go? Do you have family that you have the option of moving in with? Do you want to go to a senior community? Start looking at senior communities. What is your options in the area? Do you want to just get a smaller home? Maybe you have a 2,000 square foot home and a condo sounds better, where you're not having to mow the grass, you're not having to worry about maintenance, any of those types of things. That's also a good first step for downsizing. And part of creating the plan is then, where are you gonna go and what is gonna fit in that next step? So if you're going to be downsizing, you need to have an idea on what you can take with you. So let's go the route of maybe you choose to move into a senior community. There are some beautiful communities here in Vallejo, Napa, Sonoma, and Walnut Creek. There's tons, and I've personally gone through and toured them, visited them. I stay in touch with the staff, and I want to know, like, when you want to move into a new place, we need to get an idea of the space. And what do you want to take with you? So what can you take as far as your living room furniture, a bookshelf, and then those are the things that I want you to focus on. All of the other things, when that cannot go, that's where we can come in and take care of that for you. But we know that that's not easy either. There's a lot of emotions tied to that. There's a lot of identity tied to that, in our treasures and our things, even just paper. Do you guys have a lot of paper laying around from maybe newspapers that had something special in it, a book that somebody gave you, a magazine that somebody you knew was in? I mean, these things add up, but they're not just things. They mean something to us, and there's ties, and that's what also can take time to unfold and be okay with. So when you start looking at where you're gonna go first, you need to give yourself a little bit of time to, I would even say, grieve some of these things. People move into smaller places and they grieve getting rid of things. And we know that, and we treat it that way with respect and love, and we're on your time frame. Some people I've seen go through this process and they're rushed. Sometimes they don't need to be rushed. Sometimes they waited too long, and now you're in a crisis situation and you cannot live at home by yourself anymore, and you're being forced into something smaller with family, in a community, something, and that does not feel good either. So the fact that you're here today, just getting the information and starting to create that plan, step one, is really gonna set you up for success.
And also the other thing I'm going to add is be flexible, because things do change. I have clients who contacted me, and initially he was going to move in with his wife into a 2-bedroom, right? Move closer to their family, interstate move, and all of a sudden his wife's health changed dramatically. And then he was forced to move into a 1-bedroom of a 500 or 600 square foot assisted living. And he cannot move everything with him. And that's also interstate. So flexibility, and I will say also give yourself time, be prepared, know it's coming, and then it's still going to be difficult when it's happened, but knowing in a way and prepare yourself will be also good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love that you do is taking pictures of the home before anything is moved. And then when she unpacks and helps to set up, setting things up that feel familiar. So if you have a favorite chair and a favorite table with certain pictures around, putting them, so when you're walking in, it still feels homey and it's not this completely new out of the box.
That's very important.
Yes.
Because moving is actually very stressful
Yes.
as we age. I mean, I've seen it with my mom for sure, and certainly for myself, even though I'm this, but I move a lot, so I'm kind of acclimatized to it. But for someone who lived in a house for 20, 30 years, sometimes 40 years with multiple generation of their parents and things like that, yeah, and if it's rushed, not taking time, it can be very stressful. The other thing about moving things I would also recommend is that talk with your children, your loved ones, on what's important to you. And I wish this, I mean, I'm children and you are children, and if they are here, I will let them know that please take what your parents ask of you to take, because it meant something for them and actually give them peace of mind. I have one client, and she was so happy. She moved into assisted living last year, and her two sons came, and she was like, oh, they take everything. They have taken more than what I've expected. I'm so happy, because she felt that they're not going outside of the family, and that's important to her. So I would encourage you share that with your loved ones. And then, yeah, what each of the pieces, because when you're still well and able, share with them the stories of those items. Bond with them and say, hey, this means a lot to me because X, Y, Z. But if that's not been shared, when we go in, we actually will consult with the children. But if the children don't know, they don't know. And I have one time, a grandfather, actually, we cleaned out one of the estate. He was a Marine. And he had the shaver frame, two of them, and he put that in the bathroom. And we took it down. I was like, this is so pretty. And on the back, he actually inserted this sleeve pocket. He typed everything up, and he said, after I pass, please give this to my son. I want my son to have this. His son also, unfortunately, passed at the time when we went in. And so the daughter-in-law gave it to the grandson. Now I wish that, his son know about it when he was still there versus, I guess, sitting there. Anyway, it went to a good home. Like, get passed down. We didn't put away. But that are the kind of thing that if you know and that's important to you, I would highly recommend that. Sentimental value that you share with your loved ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads us into step 2 is communicating with family. So once you've decided that you want to make a move, maybe family is involved in that decision and maybe they're not involved in that decision. I have seen multiple different ways where people want family involved, and there's other times where they want to make all the decisions and they'll let family know once everything has been signed, sealed, and delivered. And that's okay. You have to figure out what is the best way for you, because sometimes you don't want the influence from family, and that's okay. And sometimes you do want to get them involved. And so having those communications, and a quick plug for that, I think in May, we're doing a seminar on hard conversations with our adult children and our parents, our aging loved ones, because some of those are not easy conversations to have. Sometimes they're your family homes that those kids grew up in, and they don't understand why you're trying to sell that house. And they thought you would be in forever, and that's hard for them too. So that's a big thing, is talking to family. And then next we have surrounding yourself with the professionals. So who do you need on your team? You're going to be downsizing, so you're going to need somebody who can help the actual physical transition of taking away things. Donation is always where we like to start. We've got a lot of local donation sites that would love to help. Then we have, if you have enough treasures and antiques and of value things, the option of an estate sale. I always say you have the option because you want to make sure you have enough to actually cover the cost of the sale and putting everything together. And then we have, the hauling away of the rest of the stuff. And that's all things that we can help you with. But it's knowing who you need on your team. And one of the things she had on there, her side too, is understanding, was the home in a trust? Or where's, what's going to happen there? So there's lots of moving pieces. And then the financial piece, right? What can you afford moving forward on a fixed income or selling your home, and getting all of that together. So creating a team with you that you know, like, and trust, that are vetted and professionals. And then the handling of the possessions we talked about. And then the big one, you have to celebrate. This is going to be a huge adventure. And I say it that way because there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times when you're excited and you feel really good about the progress that was made. And then there's going to be other times where you're probably crying, thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? And that's all completely normal. So once you're done, it's time to celebrate and be where you are and know that you've done it. And so we like to make sure that we take that moment. Creating a plan, just really quickly to go back through, is ask, what does your ideal future look like? Consider lifestyle, finances, what kind of care and support, and take time to answer questions to consider before the move worksheet. When we talk about care as well, there's lots of different options. So when we talk about senior communities, there are some that have completely individual care, where you go in and it's independent living. And then they have a side where there's assisted living, so that you can stay in the same place without having to move again and add assisted living to it. There are some that even have memory care built in. So once that is a piece that you might need down the future, or maybe you don't need it, but a significant other does, and you're trying to stay together, those options are available to you. So what kind of care are you going to need? Are you bringing a mother into your house? What kind of care is she going to need? The grab bars, safety, thinking about the daily activities and what you can do to support her and help her make things comfortable and safe where you're going. As things change, because things are always changing, and no matter how old you are, you're always getting older.
Wow.
Did you have something?
By age, but as long as I say spirit, keeping a upbeat.
Yeah.
Well, I call aging joyfully.
I like that.
I'm aiming for that myself.
I actually recently read a book that I highly recommend called Stage, Not Age, and it's really good. And it talks about how maybe you could be 70 years old and playing golf every week and living your best life and going on hikes. And then there could be a 70-year-old who is having some health issues, they're declining, they're having trouble getting around, they need a walker or more assistance with the daily activities. You can't put people in a box, or we can't put our parents in a box by their age, because there are lots of different levels of their activity now, and people are living longer, and that has a big play in it as well. So this is just, I know you can't probably read that, it's very small writing, but an idea of kind of some questions that you have in your handout on questions to consider before you move, and a housing need checklist. And if you guys need any other resources on that, I'm happy to provide that, or just a consultation to just talk to somebody about it, to kind of brainstorm what that looks like. I'm also happy to do that. Next step 2, so we talked about communicating with family. Host a family meeting. Share your intentions and invite support. And a tip is, adult children often experience emotional challenges too. And that's kind of where I was going when I mentioned that sometimes they don't understand why you want to sell the house, why you want to leave the house. They grew up in that house, and that's hard for them to let go too. Or there may be treasures that you're getting rid of that they're like, whoa, 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 wait. I remember on Christmas when you use this, and so they have big feelings too. So keeping that in mind. Surrounding yourself with professionals, so working with an estate planner, senior living advisors, move managers, or even in the interim, in-home health care. We have senior helpers that are on our team as well that can come in and help if there is a time where you're trying to downsize, but things are maybe progressing faster than you're able to move and you need some help to come in, then that's somebody you need on your team as well. You need to have somebody there to help support because this could be a long process. So starting early is always the best. And actually, I was talking to a lady the other day who her father had passed away and her mother has good days and bad days, she told me. And I said, okay. And on those bad days, is she able to live independently? And she's like, well, I don't really think that's a good idea. I was like, okay, well, what's the plan? And she's like, well, we're gonna go look at senior communities. I'm just not sure if we're quite there yet. And so I said, well, let me paint you two different pictures. One is you go and she gets an opportunity on her good days to thrive and make friends and get acquainted and feel comfortable and participate in the daily activities. Or two, you wait a little bit longer and let her enjoy some time at home, but she's alone and needs help, somebody coming into the house to maybe help a little bit more. And now it's more of a frantic move or a crisis move where she's not really getting well adjusted. She's not able to make friends because things have gone downhill. So giving people that opportunity really makes a big difference on how they thrive later as well when thinking about the timeline of things. And, well, I'm not quite there yet, but what do you want that to look like to give yourself or your family that time?
The other thing I would like to add is, yes, there's time, I've seen it, I've seen resistance with the family who say, don't sell this, or sometimes the grandparents pass away, and it's the grandchildren, and I've seen it say, no, Mom, you're not selling this. I met client like that. And then I met client where it's actually the seniors who really, really want to have the family or the loved one involved. And they don't want to be involved. They say, I don't want anything. And that's actually hurt. I felt, when I talk to the seniors, hurt. Because it's important. And then the other thing too is, I would say there's some seniors who don't have anyone around. They have neighbors. They have best friends who are colleagues become best friends who take care of them. I've done a house last year just like that. And the niece live in North Carolina. So there's so many dynamics, and it's important, I would highly recommend is when you identify those people, we don't want to give you, and then you're like, oh my God, I've got a whole list and I'm already stressing and looking at the list and I have to do all of this. And no, not by all means. Getting involved the people you love, you trust, and loved ones, family, friends, colleague, name it. And don't do that all on you. Assign the task, ask them, hey, in case this happens, can you help me taking care of this? And your loved one is actually helping your loved one a lot. Because when things happen that we need to get things moving for you, everyone just put their hand together and things just move. Versus if we don't know, like times we come in like, we always involve and include the seniors because that's just, we advocate for them. But we also know, okay, the children, who is responsible for what? And that's very important. We do that as part of what we call compassion, and advocacy is that a value. We always try to get the seniors involved all along the way. But at the same time, to unload the work for you, mental and emotional, is having those a few people around you, your loved one, and say, can you help with this? Can you help with this? You know, and the role and responsibility when it's clear or defined, and then you inform them that, communicate with them that, and they accept it, is actually what's going to help with the transition. It's smooth and stress-free. So we will do our part, and we help, we work, and we keep the communication going. But having that part up front in your planning is very important. And you're like, aging joyfully, okay, if this happened, this person takes care of this for me, and things like that. And they feel involved. And that's a whole care thing that we want to amplify that value in that process. Yeah.
Go ahead.
That would be me, and I would just go through again. Can we go to the next slide, Alison? So the possessions.
Handling your stuff. So sometimes
house.
too much stuff, you don't know where to start, which is a lot of it. Letting the professional sort, pack, donate, or haul, and then the emotional support included.
So that this is an end-to-end process. Is really describing again what I went through earlier with you in the very first case study. So find a new home, whether it's assisted living or you downsize into a smaller home or aging in place. Space planning. Space planning here, you decide the stage, age in place, declutter, what to keep, what make it safe for you. If you're going to move, where you're going to move to, how big is the place, what can you take, and then saying goodbye is the challenging part. Sometimes it's like, oh, I love that piece. It doesn't fit into your 1,200 square foot home or 600 square foot assisted living unit. So we help declutter, organize. We pick out the thing, we do the measurement, make sure everything fit. We packed, and the actual move itself. So I do have a team of mover working with me to help you move on the day. And then we unpacked, we move everything in. Unpack is optional. Sometimes the seniors say, hey, I want my family to unpack as a family activities, and they want to help out. So that can be a family activity as well with your loved one. So anything big like, put up the TV, putting the bed together, our mover do that for you as part of the move-in. Because what we want is for you to be able to what we call day one living. Our marketing team is championing this a lot. You moved in, you live right away from day one, right? So stress-free. This is I would say, the bigger part of what to do with the current home and the items that's left. Simple process, we sort them and we group them into 3 buckets. Sellable. So Alison mentioned things, what you have to sell. We actually sell everything for you that are sellable. Anything from fine jewelry, fine arts, anything that's valuable for you. We have done this for 18 years in our network. The business has been around for 18 years, and we have a strong platform of buyers as well. On auction, we call CTBid. We have about 1 million registered buyers right now. So we sell anything and everything on there. From your fine arts, jewelry, train collections, antiques, china, Hummels, Landro, you name it. Right? The only thing we cannot sell on our platform, guns, in California in particular, alcohol, ivory. With guns, I do have local dealers that I work with who are licensed, FFL, so they can come in and we can facilitate that process with you. I just moved last year a house. Guess how many guns I found? 33. Up. 103. About 80.
80.
Wow. Well, both him and his dad were both Air Force veterans. They hunt and they collect. So we walked in and I'm like, okay, I have my FFL license. I'm like, let's see how many. And there's 80. So that was the biggest so far in terms of guns, ammunition, of course. And then the traditional estate sales is, you probably have visited those as well. We open house on the weekend. We stage. we have staff around, we take care of the payment, we collect tax as well, sales tax. So when it goes online, our CT Build platform is like an eBay, but we own our platform. And we collect tax on there as well for you. We pay those tax to the respective city or county. And then whatever not left, donation. So we usually work with the recognizable charity. If you have any you would like us to work with, please let us know. The typical one are the children, the Cancer Society, DAV, so Department of Disabled American Veteran, that we work with as well. And the nice thing is they do come and collect. We just pack, we put it at the front, so it will save you cost, because they do pick up. Clean out anything from, like broken, dusted. We will haul them to the landfill. Chemical, bed frame, mattresses, e-waste, we take care of all of that for you as well. So I have a team of hauler working with me for that. What else is there that we had to treat? And there's time that things are not sellable, or we try to sell it, and we work with realtors, and some realtors say, actually, those look great with the house, let me work with the buyers, and to stay with the house. And I have left a very beautiful Howard Miller grandfather clock with the house, because the new owner will love it. I found a buyer in Texas. He paid great deal, $700 for it. When we're about to ship to him, so we facilitate the shipping as well. We're part of our sale. It costs $1,800 because they have to do the crate. They have to take it apart and all of that. And he was like, you know what, I'm just sorry, I have to cancel and I cannot go ahead with this. So we're like, it's a beautiful, the children cannot take it. So sometimes the items, I don't know, I like to say I can feel energy. Sometimes the item has energy on its own, and it may attach to the new house, and it may find the new owners. Something unique, special like that. So that's the other one. And then, the final clean out. Usually we work closely with the realtors. We say, hey, you ready? You ready to go in for do inspection? We work on a timeline so we can speed the process up if there's an urgency for listing. So we'll coordinate with the realtors on that. Sometimes we say, look, you can actually just list first, get the house out in the market, and then we'll work to 2 weeks to 3 weeks or a month for the clean out. And I worked with Allison on one of those projects as well last year. And that's the full end of the process. There's a lot more involved, and I have a lot of story, but I would just let you ask me any questions. So that's just going through what I've just shared with you. Oh, the one thing that's important from there is the sales. So some clients say, look, I don't have enough. It's going to cost me a lot of money. And it is. For a medium, high density hoarder house situation, it will cost you a bit of money to clean out. But the goal here, your biggest asset is actually the property, your house. So the selling of items, think of it this way. The more you leave for us to sell, it can help you cover the cost. So some clients say, oh, you know what, I'm going to keep these jewelry, but by the way, I don't really wear them anymore. And that will help, because fine jewelry and all that do really well on our platform, or fine arts. Those actually help to pay the clean out cost. There was even time where after the client they pay us, we have still money to give them from the estate sale. So we'll do our best, and we are the expert in selling. But the most important thing is you have to live, it's still your stuff and valuable, the things are valuable, and you'll be surprised, things that you collect, you're like, oh, maybe it's not worth much, it's actually quite worth a lot. So the more you live for us to sell, of course, that's part of going through that process of, do I live with my kids? Do I need it to pay for the house clean out? So that's the process. So when we do the planning, we can talk about it. So if you need help funding to pay for that, then we can go walk through the process with you, and you can say, hey, Trang, how much is this worth? Like I said, I've sold things that actually better than, even for fine jewelry, for example, better than the dealer or the jeweler can offer you. You have a better cut in terms of the commissions. So,
One
okay,
thing
text
that
away,
you didn't talk about is the second one there, is that to move into the new home first, before we start the liquidation and clean out. And I think that's a big piece too.
It is.
When you create the plan and helping to move where you want to go for many different reasons. One, to have the estate plan, and two, when you're accustomed to living in your house for 30, 40 plus years, and now things are being moved around on you, and they're not in their same places, it causes issues with safety issues, trips, falls, hazards. People are falling more because things are moved around. They're not used to that table being there, that chair has been moved, and it becomes a little bit unsafe, especially at nighttime when we're tired and we're trying to get to bed and things have been moved around. So I never recommend, if you can, moving out first than trying to stay in the house during the sale, trying to stage the house while you're living there. It just causes a lot more stress.
Absolutely correct, and thank you, Alison, for reminding me on that. And it's also, we always say, oh, I don't need it, but I kind of like, I want to take it with me, and oh, it's gonna, so that's make it also emotionally challenging as well, because you kind of just, oh, am I ready to let go or not let go? But I do have client that I work with. I just completed a job. She's senior. She's moving. She's about to retire. 68. She's still working, and she said, "Nope, I'm not ready to move in with my daughter for short term yet because I'm gonna move to Panama when she retired." So she's working when we decluttering, and it was stressful for her. And she was like, "I would not do this again." And I was like, I've shared with you, but you insist that we come in. So, I mean, we plan ahead. We only come in certain time, and she knows, and she takes time off work. But for her, in that particular instant, it's stressful because she's working. We couldn't do the sale for her, but for her, it was like, I don't care. I just want these things out of the house. Yeah. So what we did was small enough, she had a collection of bags and shoes. It's a woman thing. So we took it out, all of them out, and we put them in storage for a month while we sell them. So our priority is the well-being of the seniors, of our client. When we sense any kind of stress, and if we can remove that, we'll take extra step, because that project, I didn't plan that I will do a storage for her. So we're flexible like that in the process, and problem solving along the way is very important for us too.
To shifting your perspective to, it's not a loss, but a fresh start. So when we're thinking about it, it's daunting to get going and get things moved, and it's very emotional, but it's a fresh start. And you have dealt with all of the stuff, and it's gone, and now you don't have as much house to deal with, or sometimes maintenance to deal with. And this new chapter is supposed to be about giving you time, clarity, stress-free, and safe environment. So celebrating that, focus on freedom, community, and peace of mind. And then with that, I'm always happy to help if you have any questions for Trang or myself or my education partners. One person did not get a chance to introduce themselves. If you want to come up here and talk about senior helpers. Yes. Do you want to say hello real quick that you're with Senior Helpers? Because I totally missed that when I said hello earlier from all of our senior partners.
Hello, I'm Celestine. I'm the hiring manager for Senior Helpers. I hire caregivers to go out and help seniors.
So if you have any questions about that, she's around. This is my team. This is who I personally work with, who I know, like, and trust. We communicate. We work together because you need a whole team of people. I can't do it for you all by myself. and you can't do it by yourself. But having the right people in place to take care of it all really makes the biggest difference that you could ever imagine as you're going through and having people by your side. It's like, oh, I know what to do there. Call this person. Oh, I know what to do there. Go here. And then they just take it away and you're like, yes, okay, I have a plan and I have an action and there we go. I really thank you so much for being here today and supporting us and helping us to get the information out to you. So thank you so much. Yeah.